Hello everybody, how you all doing? Good day to you all and welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing and I welcome all of you. If you're here for the first time, please subscribe to my channel, and I want to say thank you to all my viewers, to my subscribers. Thank you so much. This video is about Biafra, remembering Biafra 50 years on, and that war is still raging, it's ongoing. However, officially the war ended 50 years ago, precisely 15th of January 1970. So we are just at the 50th anniversary of that war. So we from the southeastern part of Nigeria are victims of that war because we continue to suffer the after effects of the war. We suffer because we are marginalized, we are excluded from government employment, from government positions, from government funded institutions. You have to have the highest score for you, even as a child, to get into a unity school, whereas somebody from the north barely just have to take the exam. Even for you to get into the university and take a course of your desire, you have to have the highest score, otherwise you are edged out. And yeah, the struggle is on for the people of this region, and the people of this region are excluded from running the country. So they say the people of this region are educationally advantaged, and so because you are educationally advantaged, you are not given the access to go into universities or to go into unity secondary schools, that are secondary schools funded by the federal government that are well equipped with good teachers. But when it comes to recruitment into the government administration, you don't see these so-called people of advantaged academics. You see people from the other regions. So when they say you are educationally advantaged, wouldn't that be reflective in the administration, that you see, okay, if these people are educationally advantaged, you will see them also within the administration of the government? But no, this educationally advantage that they give to this region is just to put them down, to push them back, not to give them room to gain entrance into universities, to gain entrance into federal government funded institutions. And so the people of this region are still being denied quality education that is cheap and affordable from the government from childhood, just because of their region, their ethnicity. So what even brought about this Biafra war? Wranglings between military officials, and that led to a coup d'etat, and some military officers were killed, but they ended up terming it Igbo coup. So the Igbos are the people who are found in the southeastern part of Nigeria where this war happened, and so they call it Igbo coup, and that became an excuse to kill off Igbo military officers. And when they were done with killing off Igbo military officers, they descended on Igbo civilians. So if you were an Igbo civilian and you were just going about your day, you were cut down brutally. They killed people en masse all across northern Nigeria. Was the worst, and they term it pogrom. And even the British that witnessed it, they were so astonished, and they said, no matter the provocation, this kind of thing should never ever happen. But this is the reality that the people of the southeastern part of Nigeria had to deal with, and they would suffer this massive onslaught, and most of them were hacked down even as they were trying to escape. Most of them died actually in Makurdi en route to the east while they were trying to escape the onslaught, and they killed and killed, and the government of the day did absolutely nothing to protect them. Nothing. They did not stop the killings. They did not do anything whatsoever. So when the people retreated and decided to secede to safeguard themselves, the Nigerian government came with war. So the war that the Biafrans fought is a war of self-determination. It's a war of self-defense, because they were on their own. There was no government to protect them. So if you say that military officers did something, why do you take it out on your citizens? And if you say you don't want your citizens to secede from you, why do you go on a killing spree of your citizens? This Biafra war was carried out exclusively on civilian fronts. Schools, daily bombardment. Hospitals, daily bombardment. Markets, daily bombardments. They did not go and face the military or the soldiers. They were just targeting civilian fronts. Civilian fronts. So this is an extraordinary war that was targeted at exterminating the people in this region so they can have full access to the resources, which is what is even fueling this onslaught in the first place, by Britain, by France, by Russia. To have access to this oil, they unleashed this terror, this attempted genocide and extermination of the people of this region so they can have access to oil. Because how can you explain it that you want your citizens to stay within the country and not secede, but you go on to try to kill them, to attack civilians in homes, in hospitals, in markets? You don't go to the military front because you couldn't succeed in that front. So in the end, the Biafran soldiers had to lay down their tools because they were trying to wipe out the whole population. So at the end of the war, they promised 3 R's: reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reintegration. None of that has happened so far. It's been 50 years and none of this has happened. A few years ago, ECOWAS gave a verdict in favor of Biafran survivors that the Nigerian government should pay the victims of that war an equivalent of $140,000 million. Nothing in that front has happened, and also awarded them some money that they should excavate all the landmines, all the unexploded explosives that are still littering all across the farmlands, and give people access to this land. Nothing of that has happened. So before I continue, there's been a talk that is going on. It has been themed Never Again, and people of southeastern Nigeria and other stakeholders in Nigeria have been called to give talk in this team that is ongoing, and one of these talks caught my attention. I want you to listen to what this legendary Nigerian musician in the person of Onyeka Onwenu has to say in regards to this war that has officially ended but is still waging.
We will not succumb. We will not bow. We are children of God. We are here for a purpose. God has put us on this good earth for that purpose. You cannot drive us to the sea. You cannot tell us to shut up and take the pain that you are inflicting on us, abuse us on top of it. Listen, if you don't want us, then let us go. Thank you.
So you've heard from the people who were there, who were present at that moment, and you know, they witnessed it, they saw what happened, and they can testify that it's still ongoing. I personally am also a victim of that war. My father was a Biafran soldier, and my father was injured at the last battle to take over Umuahia. So he got injured with gunshots, and he would later die from that injury when we were still very small. So yeah, I'm a victim of that war, and I've grown up to be an orphan, not knowing my father, only hearing his stories, and it hurts, you know, but I'm going to still support his dream and his call, what he stood for, because my father told also the story. My father was an engineer with Nigerian Ports of Authority, and he was in Lagos when the war broke out, and they were actually picking out Igbo officials and killing them. So he escaped and literally walked from Lagos to Imo State. Like he walked, he told us how he walked, part jumping on, you know, behind buses and all those, and how he was almost killed at Ore. So an interjunction between the southwest and, you know, the south part of Nigeria. So he was almost killed there. He kind of escaped. So he walked a lot through the villages of these places and hid himself under planks of things that they were carrying, and you know, until he crossed the Niger Bridge, and he was able to find his way home somehow when they thought they would have killed him. And when he came home, finally he joined the Biafra army, and he fought very tenaciously for Biafra because they believed in it, because of what they have seen and how they have been treated within Nigeria. They all fought with all they got. And today, if you call for Biafra war, people will fight because the way we have been treated. Our generation, we didn't fight that war, but we are still suffering the repercussions is still reverberating. Everything that led to that war is still happening. Today, for example, they are killing people in the middle belt of the country, and they wiped away all these people, their communities, their region, and they can't go back to that region again. They are in internally displaced people's camp. Where does that happen? In a country that the government is supposed to go and see what is happening, secure that place and let the people go back to their community, but they can't go there because the invaders have taken over their country, and they are wallowing and suffering and wasting away in so-called internally displaced people's camp. How can it be that a country that is not at war is having this kind of suffering? People are dying in the name of Boko Haram, killing people en masse. And the tragedy is the Nigerian government, they keep sponsoring the Boko Haram war by reintegrating the captured militants back into the Nigerian army and saying that they have repented. I mean, how can it be that Boko Haram has killed so many thousands of people and there have not been one trial of any Boko Haram member? Instead, we keep seeing that they have been released, no trial. They have just been released. So I don't want to drag this video too long. I believe we've heard enough today. I'm going to continue this series again in my next video to talk more about Biafra and the way forward, because right now everything that led to the Biafra war is still ongoing. As you have heard, the war is still ongoing and the federal government has refused to rebuild this region. Take for instance, they are building a railway line to connect the whole country and they exclude one region, completely excluding one region. How can you explain that? This kind of thing cannot happen in Germany. In Germany, they have a network of railway connecting every community, every part of this country. This is how a country functions. A country does not function by excluding one part of itself and claiming to be a country. There has to be some sign of seriousness of wanting this unity. But what we have continuously seen is a hegemony of one region lording it over the others politically, economically, and otherwise, even legally. So everything we have seen is just the victor still enjoying the spoils of the victory of this war, and the war continues. So I'm going to stop this video here and I will continue in my next video. Please stay tuned to my channel, subscribe to my channel if you have not yet done so, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye for now. Bye.